Hi everyone, it's Diane. I just want to give you an update on how I'm coming along with the fabric organization. I'm still working on it today. You can see the fabrics that I wound around the comic book boards here and here. And there's nothing in this right now. It's just there to hold the cards up, but we're going to put something in it right now. Down here is, what is that? Crochet pieces, and this is baby clothes and doll clothes, vintage, that I can take apart and use, and ribbons. Down here is just muslin and cheesecloth, things like that, linen, like plain linen. So when I need something plain, I can come here, and that's nice to know that I know right where to go for that. And these are embroidered pieces. Now I deleted a lot, destashed a lot of this, so there will be, well, I'm going to show you a mess, but I showed you a big mess the other day. So right here, it's all stuff that I've pulled from various collections. There's embroidered stuff and a little bit of crochet and some cotton fabrics and whatnot. So there will be fabric bundles coming. So I'm going to bring this out right now because I destashed some of my layer cake fabrics, and I've had over quite a few years, sorry, just trying to get that off, purchased quite a few different layer cakes, and I've always tried their 10 by 10 fabrics, and what they are is a 10 by 10 piece of every design in a certain collection. So they're beautiful, but I don't want all the designs. So I destashed some of those, and I already sold them. That was like a surprise listing that I did last night, and they sold. So, but these are the ones I want, and I've been keeping them flat, laying in that cabinet, trying not to mess them up. But I decided I'm done with messing around like that. So I folded them into quarters, and I'm going to put them in here. These are the ones I'm keeping. So I'll put this back in my cabinet, and then I will meet you in the Nook to show you what that looks like. Okay, here we are at the Nook. So I have the fabric baskets that we worked on in one video, and they're labeled except for this one because I added one basket. I did this last night while I was watching TV, and I'm very proud of myself. This was stuffed to the top and hard to get it in there because it was so full. Look how much is in there now. This is my kitchen linens. So it's tablecloths, aprons, and kitchen towels, vintage pieces. And I'm so proud that I deleted or destashed so much. So I do have to work on the rest of these. I still have all of this to do and all of that. So today's Friday. I was hoping to get a lot done today, but I had other things to do also. So I'm going to keep working on it for a little while, and I guess I'll have to spend some time on Saturday working on it also, because I want to get the fabric done. I would like to start a new journal project on Monday, but we shall see. And now we are at my table. I had been setting aside pieces that I knew I needed to cut while I was sorting some things, and some of these things weren't even in a tote. They were on top of the cabinet down there, or on top of a basket on the floor. So these are things I really need to deal with, and we're going to start right now. I started with my Fruit Loops flannel. I had this large piece of flannel that I got. Where did I get it? It's so cool. Oh, at the flea market. I got it at the flea market. So I just cut it into, I tore it into 4 sections, and I'm keeping one section, and I'm going to sell the other 3 sections. So that will be in my shop soon. There was a little spare piece that was just hanging off, so I'm keeping that one. But these will be in my shop soon. Also, I have some, oh, where did it go? the feed sack. Remember when I got the bags, big bags that I figured were feed sacks, and I got like 4 of each color or something like that, 3 or 4 of each color. I kept 1 bag of each color. There were 3 colors, and I sold the rest. Well, I decided, they were big bags, so I decided I'll just keep one side of the bag. So I got them cut up into front and back, and cut off the seam portion. So I'll be creating a listing of feed sack fabric. So I haven't done it yet, but I will. And I don't have a lot of feed sack fabric. It's just a small drawer, and there's not a lot in it. Oh, I know why I can't find these. It's because I already put them in the feed sack drawer. But this is another piece of feed sack fabric that was in with some other fabrics that I got this year, I think. So I don't need this much. It's purple. I might just put both sections of this in a bundle. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough to do 2 bundles of feed sack fabric, but I'm just gonna cut it so it's ready to be shared, and I'll put it with the rest of my feed sack, and when I have a chance to go through that, I may do some destashing there, but no guarantees. I love my feed sack fabric, and I don't have a lot of it. But these I could share because I don't care for purple. This one, I think it might be feed sack fabric, but I don't know. I think it's just a tablecloth piece. So I'm not going to call it feed sack fabric. So these came out of my kitchen linen tote. So this will add more back into it because I just need to cut these pieces. So I shouldn't be bragging about that all came out of that tote, but I'm not going to put all of it back in. So let's take a look at them. I do want part of this because I love this crochet trim. So that's the main reason I bought it, was for the crochet trim, and I don't really care that much. I mean, these are great. I love them, and I thought I would use them, but I have a lot of embroidery. So I think what I will do is just cut off the crochet, and then I can sell the rest of it. And that might be disappointing to people who would like to buy the embroidery with the crochet, but this is why I bought it. And if I don't want the rest of it, I also don't want to throw it away, so I can share it. So I'll cut around this. It's got an unusual shape, which is pretty interesting. So I'll probably cut it into pieces and add it to bundles for embroidery pieces. So I'm just going to cut this, and I don't think I'm going to keep any of this. So I'm just going to cut it into 4 pieces, and it will be in bundles. Next we have this, and I do love this piece. I like the colors. I like the old style of linen that it is. That looks like it's got some dried glue on it, with something that got stuck in the dried glue. So that's not coming off. So I'll keep that half. I'll cut around that when I want to use it. And what I'll do here is I'll cut here to preserve this, and on the other side I'll cut it on that side to be fair. So this will go in my embroidery bin. I think this is feed sack fabric, and I don't know. It's a long skinny strip, and it's got a hem, and it's got a hem here. I don't think it was very well done. So yeah, it might be a curtain rod. so it was a very long valance. I'm going to cut it into pieces. Some of these probably were in the box from Lehman. This might have been. I think I'll cut these into 4 pieces. And this is a tablecloth. It's already been cut up. I love the colors. It would make a fun journal cover. My back hurts. So it looks like I've got a part of the tablecloth, and I don't know if I had this and cut it up and already shared some of it. I don't know if I need to get rid of much more of it at this point. I'll cut it into smaller usable pieces. Sometimes it's just intimidating to have this very large piece of printed fabric and you don't know what to do with it. So if I cut it up into smaller pieces, I might be more willing to do something with it. So even this could be a fun cover, like that, and then have the space to decorate somehow, but that pretty border. Of course, I would have to sew it onto something else because I didn't leave enough to fold it around. That would be pretty. And then I just have this little piece left, so I'll just fold this up. So I'm not getting rid of any of this yet. I might at some point. This is from a kitchen towel, and I loved this. I have used this in lots of different things. I had more than one of these, I think. So now I'm pretty much just left with the piece with the crochet. I don't want to cut it off of the towel because I might want to use it like that. Here is, I am going to put this in with feed sack, because it might be feed sack. I think it is. And it's kind of stained too, right there. And it's a small piece, and I'll just keep a small portion of it. You can see it's stained where it was folded. I'll just keep this much. I was feeling so overwhelmed yesterday while I was sorting the fabric. I knew it was going to be an overwhelming process, but now that I've gotten started and kind of know what my goal is, have a better idea, I feel better about it, but I feel anxious to get it done, you know. I don't want it hanging over my head. So last night well, it was, you know, early evening. I was about ready to finish up down here. It's about 6 o'clock. And I thought, I just was overwhelmed. I was not in a good mood. I was hot. I was hungry. It was too hot to cook. And I thought maybe I'll feel better if I just do a spur of the moment sale. I think this was in Lehman's box, but I love this old-fashioned kind of tablecloth. I'm not sure if it was, but it might have been. And it's pretty big, so we're going to cut it down. I don't need to keep this much. So I quickly just did 2 listings last night. And there's still some, as I'm making this video, there's still 2 bundles of a sheer, well, not sheer, one piece is sheer and the other ones are just a thin cotton fabric. They might be slightly sheer, but they have flocking on them. You know, the little fuzzy design, like a Swiss dot, but it's not a Swiss dot, it's a design, little flowers. Anyway, they're very pretty and pastel. I got them at the flea market this year, and knowing I would sell some because they were big pieces. So I have 2 bundles of that left. But it did help me. I mean, they were just small bundles. They didn't take up much space in this room, but it did help me just to have them listed and purchased. Now I have to pack them and get them ready to leave the house on Monday. But it did help just to get that much done. I think fabric bundles are difficult to do because it takes time to do all the cutting, tearing, or whatever. And how am I gonna divide them up? And I don't want them to weigh too much. This washi tape is getting in my way. I organized my washi tape and I don't have room for those, and I already destashed all I want to destash, so I don't know. That's a problem for another day. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't know. So I went to see my mother today. That's one of the things I had to do. One thing was pack orders, which I got started on, but I haven't finished because I sold books the day before yesterday. So I've got to get orders packed, and I started that. And then I went to see my mother, and I took her some gluten-free Cheez-Its. She loves Cheez-Its. I would buy Dad some Cheez-Its, and she just was envious that she couldn't eat them. But I found gluten-free ones at Tops the other day, so I bought them. And also a little tub of meringue cookies. They're not really cookies, but they're called meringues, and they're crispy and they kind of melt in your mouth, and they don't have gluten in them, and she loves them. So I got those and I took them to her today. And she wasn't feeling very well, so she had an upset stomach. This could also be feed sack fabric, so I don't know. I don't think I should put those tablecloths that I don't know. I don't know if I should put them in a feed sack bundle because I don't want to be deceptive, sell you something, make you think you're buying feed sack and you're not. But it does kind of, the texture of it is like that. So I don't know. What would you do? It's got a little crochet edging around this tablecloth. It's a very pretty piece of fabric. I see a little patch, couple of holes right there where it was worn through. So these pieces will go back in the kitchen linens tub, bin, whatever that is. But that's all. That's all that's going back in there. And I'm happy about that. So I hope to have kitchen linens and or feed sack fabric bundles pretty soon. No guarantees of when. I never know what I'm going to be doing down here. Like I said, I haven't worked on a journal in a week because I finished the patriotic journals a week ago, and I've just been organizing since then and destashing and listing stuff, and I don't like it when I'm not creating something. So I want to get started on a journal on Monday if I can. Mondays are always busy. Okay, so I have this tablecloth. I'm not going to cut it up today. I bought this at an estate sale, and it was a beautiful tablecloth, and I don't think it had any stains. If it did, they were minimal. And I used it on my table in my other place that was small. But I have a bigger table here, and this doesn't work on it. So I'm just not ready to cut it up yet. I'm going to take it back upstairs, put it with my table linens. I just can't do it. All right, I have these pieces of fabric. I think I bought these as remnants. And I don't do a lot of bird stuff. I just love the vibrant colors of this fabric, but I don't see myself using it. So that will go in a destash pile. I've got some sheets. Now these look like they're already cut up, but why weren't they put away? I think I just had them in that cabinet. I don't need a piece that big. And I'm going, oh, this was a fitted sheet. It's got that corner where I cut the seam. I'm going to cut a piece half this size and just keep that. I think I bought this at a rummage sale last year when I first moved in here, and I was taking a walk and there was a rummage sale like 2 blocks away from me. Aren't they pretty? The colors of the flowers, beautiful. I think I will grab a bin and bring it over here though. I'm tired of tearing sheets, and I got another sheet here. Sheets and tablecloths. I'll show you what's left on my table, but then I'll grab another bin. So I do have a bin that has sheets in it, but it might have something else. Some of those bins do double duty, but they have a label on them so I know what is underneath whatever's on top. So this is another, looks like a pretty big sheet, and it's elasticized on the corners, so it's just a pretty little delicate pastel floral. So I'll get that cut up. And I have this I had just put this on top of the cabinet down there. It's just a big quilt, nothing fancy. It's all scraps, and it's not sewn well, and it's got tufts of yarn instead of being quilted. But I do want to get this cut up so I can sell some and use some, and it's not just this big bulky thing hanging around my studio. Okay, I'm gonna go grab a bin. Here it is, and it's an overstuffed one. It wasn't in my cubby like this because it wouldn't fit like this, but I've been putting stuff on top of it. This is the Patchwork and Quilts bin. So I'm gonna put it on the floor. This is a tabletop that a quilt top that I got at the flea market. Again, it's not expertly made. The seams do not match up at all, but it would be fun to do many things with. So I'm going to cut that up smaller too. But I'm going to do that where I have more space to spread it out. So there will be quilt pieces coming into my shop too. Now let's see what is in here. I do not need this much quilt stuff. I never wanted to part with too much of it because, you know, if you find a quilt in a thrift store or a flea market, they can be pretty expensive. But I do not need this much, so I am going to part with some of it. So in the bottom of that bin, I had the quilted ones that have the batting in them. I cut this one up already and I sold pieces of it, and I made a couple of quilts out of it. So I have the sashing pieces. Maybe I don't have any of the squares left, but they were little bonnet ladies, and this was a very nicely made quilt. But I didn't pay a lot for it because I don't remember why, what was wrong with it. I mean, I paid more than I did for just those cheap quilt covers that I just showed you, the quilt tops that aren't quilted. Yeah, I don't have any of the quilts, the squares, and I don't know. I kept these because I thought I would do something with them, but I don't know if I will. So I'm going to set these aside and maybe have a bundle of quilt scraps. Like that is a really soft, and it's kind of thin, pale yellow, and it's pretty. It does have seams. Those pieces are slightly different. They're not the same. That's more cream, and that is a pale, pale yellow. So I don't know. That's really soft and pretty. I might keep that, make something out of it. I have bought quilt pieces like squares from Selena at Amour Fabriques. So I don't know which ones came from her at this point. Some of them I will know. But okay, so this is just a quilted square. It's not patchwork. It's just got this flower petal design in the middle. This has a quilted design in it, but it's not quilted. I wonder if they were quilted, you know, pieced together and quilted. I don't remember where I got these pieces. So some of these small ones I will keep. This is from a purchased pillow sham, and I did use a piece of this on the journals that I made with the Hallmark date books right in the middle of the page, and they were made out of a quilted piece and wallpaper. They were beautiful journals. This I'm going to keep. I just love the colors. It looks like 1930s, this style of fabrics that they are. That's just a white sashing piece. That's another piece of that. These are samples, and I think I will pass these on, as I've had them for a long time. So I'm going to pass them on. These can go in the scrap if anybody's interested in, you know, these kind of scrappy quilted pieces. These can go in that. And this one I think I'll keep because it's bigger. Now these, I bought this whole quilt at the flea market quite a few years ago, and I just love it. It is old, and it is very well done, hand quilted, worn, and beautiful. And I really want to make quilts or journals out of these. And I did sell some of the pieces when I first cut it up. So I'm keeping these. I don't know if there are more. Maybe these are all that I kept. This is something I got from Selena. A beautiful little piece for a small quilt or journal. It's got, some of the batting is bunched up, making it very thick right here, which could be a problem for, because it's right where the spine would be. It would be a problem for sewing the journal together in there. But I'll have to cross that bridge when I get there. I think it's a very pretty piece. Selena is a quilter too. She has sent me pictures of some quilts that she's made. Beautiful. This is the bear claw or bear paw quilt patchwork piece. Beautiful. I think this might have come from Selena too, but I don't remember. I'm keeping that. These are beautiful, old, nicely quilted. I just love the thin batting and then the quilting, and they just are so soft and supple. It does have stains on it, which I don't mind. I'm keeping this piece. This is a quilt that I made, a baby quilt for my son when I was pregnant with him, and it's just patches. It's my color, you know, pink and blue. I don't know where I got this paisley fabric, but I made a maternity dress out of that. But I remember the top I made out of this, and I think I had a skirt out of this. So they were just my leftover fabrics from sewing. And I didn't know if he was a boy or a girl, so I made it pink and blue. And it's held together. It was Judy's quilt too when she was a baby. I made another one for her that was applique animals, but the applique animals, that one didn't last because the animals, the applique started coming apart. These are pretty scraps, and I think I'll keep those. I can put them on edges of pages or something like that. So I'll keep my little pieces like this somewhere else, not in the quilt bin, because I won't look in the quilt bin for small pieces to add to my journals. I'll put them somewhere else. Now at the flea market, I got stacks of some of these squares, and some of them were nice. This one's a nice one, like the seams are all even. Some of them were pretty bad as far as how they were sewn together. And I'm not criticizing because I am bad at making patchwork. I can do a pillow, and that's about it. And a table runner I did. But I can't do a whole quilt. So anyway, I got several big pieces, and I sold some of those when I first got them. So I will set this in a pile, and if I have a lot of them, I'll go through them and destash some. These are just little squares, and they're just fun to use in many ways in a journal. Make a pocket out of it, use it on the cover, other things you can do with those small pieces. I like this one because it's very bright colors. It's very nicely done. The seams all meet in the corners just the way they're supposed to. But it's not, was it handmade? Yeah, I mean, it was done on a sewing machine. So some people do have, is it a serger that does that kind of stitch? I've never used a serger. So I think this is a homemade quilt. And I might cut that into smaller pieces. So I'll put that with the other ones I'm going to cut. Am I taking too long on this video? Not yet. Here is a patchwork piece. I might cut that up. It was not quilted, but it's pieced together. Not expertly. Like, I would cut that square out and use it. I love those colors. So I might cut that into squares. We'll see. This one, somebody already cut pieces out. It might have been me. I wish it was something other than white in between, but that would be fun to use. I don't know. I'm going to put this in a maybe pile for destashing. These might be the quilt squares I was talking. Oh no, that's a whole quilt. And it's triangles. I love this. Not an expertly done quilt, but I might cut this up. It's too big for me to keep all of it, so I'll put that in the pile to cut up. This one came from Selena too. This I got at the flea market. It's not extremely old, but it's kind of cute. It's just got these triangles all pointing up. And this one isn't badly done, but instead of hand quilting, it's got the ties of yarn. So I'll cut that into smaller pieces and sell some of that. It's amazing how many quilts I have gotten, but I've been doing this for years. That can go in the bundles. So I had the ones with the batting at the bottom of the bin, and now I think we're getting to the ones that did not have batting. That's just a scrap, and that will be fun in just a scrappy, eclectic, grungy journal or something. What do you think about these quilts that are just pieces of everything? Like this goes together, and this goes together, and this goes together, but they don't go together, you know? It's kind of fun the way they did it. They matched up one square and then just put everything together. But that's like not a crazy quilt. Crazy quilt's something different, but it's just a scrappy quilt, I guess is what you would call it. I might cut some of that up. So there's another big square. Let me see. There's that one and this one. I just need to know what I have in that. I have some Kantha quilt pieces, and I sold most of it. I kept a few pieces because I thought I might want to embellish stuff with them, but I don't need, I have so much stuff that's gonna go. I remember buying these, they were big squares. It's quilted to another piece of fabric. There's no batting, it's just this quilted onto a cotton fabric. And a star, I'll keep that one. Here's another one. Let's see, I don't need all the stars. I forgot I had these. So I like this one. I like the ones that look patchy, so I'm gonna let this one go. I really like that one, that's my favorite. I think I'll keep those two, and I can let that one go. This has flannel. So I got a bunch of these slanted quilt squares. I think I cut some of this off and made it, used it for a spine. But this one is all made out of flannel, which is kind of fun. I love these. These are nicely done, and they are vintage fabrics. This is a vintage quilt top piece. And there's another piece. I'm going to put these with quilts to cut up, but only so that I can decide if I'm going to keep both of those, or I'm just putting that in the decide pile. I'm definitely not getting rid of both. This is a strip of squares, and I have several of those. Oh, I have some of these squares that I just sorted. Are these from, I don't think these are from my secret sister that gave me some of her quilt scraps. I don't know, I'll have to watch that video again. Why is my memory so short? I'm gonna put these in the pile of decisions. Do you have a pile of decisions? I love some of the fabrics that are in this. Piles of decisions can be overwhelming. That can go. I'm not going to get through this whole pile. Well, I don't know. This is big. I'll get rid of this one. This is a dirty old quilt top. It was never quilted, but it is very old. It's not even hand, well, it's got ties on it. What's it quilted to? Nothing. It's just a quilt back. Look how faded and worn it is. So I don't know why there are ties, because they are to attach the quilt to the backing, but there's no backing. Anyway, this is going to go in the pile to cut up. And this is what I have left, so I'll try to be quick. And I can edit out some stuff. These are all just 9-patch squares, so these will go in the pile of decision. And these are bigger 9-patch squares. I love those colors. Oh, this is sewn together. Nice. Pile of decision. More squares. I'm just going to put that in the de-stash pile. This is a basket. Square. I'm going to keep that one being done. This is a table mat, and it looks like I cut a piece out of it. I love this old 30s style of fabric, the floral fabric pieced together. I'm keeping that to use. I'll make something with it. Some more of the slanted diagonal stripes. They go in the pile of decision. This is thick. I thought it might make a good cover if I cut it in half like that, and then I could make 2 covers out of it like that. It is pretty, very pretty. We'll see if I ever get to do that. Here's another, like a purchased quilted, which I could have fun with. And vintage patchwork. This is all going to be a pile of decision. I'm not making any more decisions right now, except for that one. That can go. Another big square piece. I'll put that with those big square pieces. That way I can decide which square pieces I want to keep. There's a hexagon quilt or grandmother's flower garden quilt piece or something like that. This is one that my mother made. Log cabin. I cut some of it off. She had pieces, squares of it, but she never made the quilt. So I guess we're running out of time here. Let me just show you. I've got this old star quilt block. There are 2 of them. And I think I had the square or the diamonds with this. Just some quilt pieces. Some I've cut up and some I haven't. But I don't need this many, so some will be going. I can get rid of this one. There's another piece of flower garden. I probably won't use this one. It's just so fun to take pieces, small pieces of old quilts, even if they're poorly made, and add them to your journals. I love this red and white. There's no print to it. It's only 2 colors. It's not even matched up, but it's old and I love it. It's just very striking. This one is pretty. It's not as old. It's a log cabin. And I'm going to let the purple ones go. Quite a few purple. I knew I was going to have fun when I got into this bin. I'm going to let that one go. And this one is, here's another slanted piece. This one is a bigger, oh no, they're squares. I thought they were all connected. I'll let that one go. Those are not my colors. That is bright. I love that. Oh, I love that one too. They're too big to make a quilt journal cover, but I'll do something with them. This one's pretty. So these are not super old, those last ones. That looks like a pinwheel. But I think I'll let that one go. So yeah, I've got a lot of decisions to make, as you can see. So I guess tomorrow I'll be down here again doing some more work and decision making. I hope you enjoyed seeing all my quilt pieces and what kind of decisions I have to go through to get these things sorted and destashed and put bundles together for you. Tell me what you think about all these varied quilt pieces. I'll see you in the next video. Have a creative day. Bye.